Welcome back, everybody, to Great Minds Think Alike. This is episode 2, and I'm your host, Gabby.
Yep, and I'm Nick, and we are so excited to bring you the second episode today. We're really prepared for it. We're feeling good, and just want that to show.
So for episode 2, we want to talk a little bit more on our values and just do a deeper dive and redefine. So again, our values are lifestyle, business, creating balance within, and we do have a passion for real estate.
So within these values that we talk about, right, the main ones are business and lifestyle, and balance weighs in all of it, right? How do you find balance within your lifestyle, within your business to be happy? And that is the pursuit of happiness and fulfillment, which is really our why.
Yeah.
You know, that's the reason we're not talking about money to be rich and just have, you know, to be a show off, or in the gym to be all ripped and flexing on Instagram. You know, that's not the purpose. The why is being fulfilled and finding happiness.
So now we're going to go into our business segment. We want to talk on money mindset and just how money is a tool to aid the life you want to live.
Money is a tool to happiness. We don't want to talk about acquiring money so you can have fancy cars and then flaunt them on people. We talk about it to be the pursuit of happiness, because money buys time and resources that gives you flexibility and freedom to go and pursue happiness. Money will never give you happiness, right? Rich people tell you that all the time. It feels good at the beginning, but eventually that serotonin dies down.
It gives you the resources to live your life how you want to live it, and that's really why it's the foundation.
Exactly. It's a tool that allows you to pursue happiness and fulfillment, because you have certain needs that need to be met. You know, you need shelter, you need food, you need money to run things, you know, to get groceries, to enjoy yourself. So it is just a means to an end, but it is certainly not the end.
So you want to make sure that you have a good relationship with money. What we're going to do with our money mindset is we're going to remove broke from our vocabulary. We're not saying we're broke anymore, because you will stay broke then. We're going to remove those limiting beliefs, and we're going to take greed out of it. You know, like that's a huge thing. Like, it's always more. Like, we need to find content with where we are sometimes and be grateful.
Greed is the opposite of balance, which we're preaching, right?
Yeah.
When you fall into greed, you will never be happy with money, because you'll always want more. The point is to realize what you want that will actually make you happy, figure out how much money it'll take to get there, and then work towards that, and don't fall in love with the money, just the result of it.
When you've met the goals that you want to hit, obviously you're going to make other goals for yourself, but it just try to remove greed out of it as much as you can. It's hard, but like, you know, just be real with yourself.
Very well said. You want to be conscious of it.
So with that, I'm going to transition to mindset with fitness and making it sustainable.
Yes, and that's for our lifestyle segment of it.
I think mindset is like our biggest theme here, and I do think it applies with business, it applies with lifestyle. We need to apply this when we're looking at fitness too, or else it's not going to be sustainable. What we don't want to do is make working out a chore, because you're not going to want to do it. You're going to be grateful that you get to work out and move your body. That's what we want to do. That's the goal.
To work my body. I get
Emphasis on get. Oh, I have to work out. No, you get to work out.
Exactly. Mindset is everything. You could be having a horrible day with horrible things going on around you, but if you have a good mindset, it's not that bad. There could be a great day, tons of blessings, but if you're in a bad mood and your mindset's bad, it's going to be a sucky day anyway, right? And the same goes for money and fitness. And it's true, you don't want it to be a chore. You don't want to resent it. And that's why the biggest thing with fitness is to start off not slow, right? But whatever your body tells you.
Small, yeah.
Yeah, start small. Don't overdo it, because overdoing it brings resentment. And then when you resent the gym, it's a chore and it won't be sustainable.
So figure out what works best with your schedule and then stick to that. Like maybe you're drained from your 9 to 5. You can't fathom going to the gym after work. Then you go maybe Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and those are your days. Like make it work for you. And it doesn't have to be a high intensity interval training. It does not need to be that every time you work out. It could be low impact. You could be walking. You could be like doing a home workout from whatever app you use. Like that's all fine. Again, moving your body is the most important part.
Exactly. How many times, Gab, do we go home from a long day of commuting and working and we don't feel like going to the gym and running and lifting weights, and we just pull out the yoga mats at home and do some core and stretch? You know, listen to your body when it tells you no. And if you don't want to, don't.
So listen to your body, but also be stern with yourself. You don't want to double down and compound a bad decision. Like if you didn't go last night because you said you're going to go in the morning, you need to stick with that and be real with yourself.
No, that's an excellent point. It really is. Don't let bad decisions compound, because if you do make that decision, you were supposed to go to the gym after work, you decide not to. Well, you better go that next morning, right? Or that next day after work, or or say you want to eat an unhealthy meal, you're doing something, you're lazy. You just can't compound those bad decisions. We won't always be 100%. It's important to incorporate balance by not doing something when your body tells you no, but you have to then turn that switch and say, okay, it's a new day. I have to get back into the grind.
Yep. And with all of that, like, it's going to be hard because I feel like as a society now, we're so used to these like instant gratifications and that's what we're chasing for. But with the gym, like you're not going to get that. Like you're just not.
Instant gratification is not sustainable. I think one thing we've learned working out together for the past, say, 3-4 years now, we've pretty much been gym and accountability buddies, is that consistency creates delayed gratification, right? When people are new in the gym, they want to see abs, they want to see biceps right away, but that's not how it works. And if that is working like that, you're probably burning yourself out and they will go away once you get tired.
That's not sustainable.
I know.
It's
so
not.
The consistency of always going, being accountable to yourself, that creates delayed gratification, and it transfers to other places in your life, with your career, with your business, with your relationships. It just shows you, like the gym now, I was consistent and slow for 2 years. Now I'm in excellent shape. I need to apply that to the rest of my life. And as years pass on, you're just going to keep on improving and improving and improving.
So I want to transition to our real estate topic now. And because we're going to be talking about real estate a lot, we want to talk about the benefits of being a homeowner and how this can benefit you rather than renting.
Exactly. We're always saying why buy properties, do this. We'll be giving advice on it. But, what's the benefits of actually doing that?
So the first thing I want to say is being able to customize and control your own space. Like when you buy a house, you can rip down those 1970 ass ugly
those ugly wallpaper, 1970 ass.
1970 ugly wallpaper. Just rip out those ugly red carpets. Like
you're passionate about it. That's why.
I was just thinking of like previous like family homes. Honestly, just want to renovate. And then we also want to talk about like there's no unexpected moving. You get to stay as long as you want. If it's not working for a situation, you can pick up and decide when you want to move.
Exactly. In most situations, when you own a home, you're concreted in there, right? You're okay. When you're renting, on any given day, the landlord can decide that he's up in the rent and kicking you out or selling the property. And let's say you have a family, you have kids, you have to yank them out of school, you have to move your entire family to another area. Owning a home takes that out.
Yeah, and you don't have to deal with slumlords, which I've had quite a few in my experiences.
Cheap fixes.
The best one is one of my college homes. This guy, our landlord, he's like, oh, we're going to have our guys fix that. And he has his old parents come and they just slap a Band-Aid on whatever problems were.
I'm going to assume they weren't professional repairs. It was just his parents.
Yep,
putting the cheapest fixes on the house, and your window was broken. They may fix for a week and it'll break again. And I'll tell you one thing, those slumlords are also using those little things that break from their cheap fixes to take your security deposit.
Oh yeah, gone. Stealing that.
Yep.
Don't even expect it back.
Another benefit that I like to mention to most of my clients is the tax benefits of owning a home. I'm not a certified tax professional, so I can't give much advice, but I do want to point out that when you're doing your taxes at the end of the year, if you own a home, you can write off some of that interest that you paid throughout the year. So just another little added benefit there financially.
Yeah. And then when you want to sell your home, you can make a profit. Whereas if you're renting and you're moving to another rental, you got jack shit.
Yep. When you rent, you have nothing to show for it. When you go to move, when you own a home, at least you could sell, get a little profit to help you move to your next spot. And that also reminds me of my favorite part, which is something that Gab and I are looking to do in the very near future, is the move out, rent out method. When you own a home, you have the option to turn it into an investment property that brings in cash flow. So Gab and I have an active search going on, and it can literally be next week, next month, next year, but we're looking for a property in our area that we're going to move into, live in for a little bit, and then move out for our next bigger home and put a renter in there and change it into an investment property.
So the biggest thing with this, you want to make sure that it's profitable. And that's the reason why we haven't pulled trig on this yet. It hasn't made sense where we would make profit on it. Like there's high home value and, you know, we're getting the double whammy with the high interest rates. So
exactly,
it hasn't made sense yet, but we are on the lookout. And when it does, we are going to make that move.
Because on this, and as you know, people in the industry, we convince people to buy homes, right? We tell them why it's a good idea. We also have the duty to tell people when it's not a good idea.
Yeah.
And that's what we've been doing by when a house comes up, you examine the rent roll. What can I get for this in a year or two? We examine the mortgage, you know, and you see if we rent it out, how much we'd be paying per month versus what we would get. And that's what we do for ourselves and our clients. Not every deal is a good deal. So yes, it's important to buy, but that point that you just drove home is that it's also important to do your due diligence before buying. And that's where working with a good real estate team helps.
Yeah. Another benefit of owning a home is you don't have to worry about any pets that you have. You could have a dog, cat, horse, if you have the property for it, whatever you want. I know with rentals, it is, if you have a pet, it is 10 times harder to find a home for you. And I get it, because from a landlord perspective, dogs, for example, can chew up the molding, scratch the floors. It's a liability.
Yeah, exactly. And when you own a house, your whole family is welcome in the home, even the four-legged family members. When you're renting, there is a lot of rules. I know all the time I hear Gab come back from trying to get her clients rentals when they're looking, and she's like, they have a dog. There's nothing that takes dogs. You know, it's just a whole nother obstacle. Biggest thing in my book with renting versus buying here is that rent burns money, owning builds it. Mm-hmm. And the explanation of why comes with the big word equity. So I do an equity 101 with almost all of my clients, but all of my first-time home buyers to explain what it is, how you build it, and how it comes back to you. So equity is basically the value of your home minus the mortgage. So let's say you buy a house at $300,000 and you have $280 mortgage. You have 20 grand of equity in that home. Now a few years passes, the home value goes up to $320, your mortgage goes down to $260. You now have 60 grand of equity versus the 20 you started, because on both sides, the value went up, the loan went down. And that's while you're making your mortgage payments, you're gaining that wealth, where when you're renting, you're just draining your bank account. Mm-hmm. So the equity portion is arguably my biggest argument on buying a home.
Cool. Well, I think that about covers it, right?
Yeah. I mean, I thought that we hit really well with the mindset of everything, with your business mindset, money mindset, fitness mindset.
That's our biggest thing. Second episode, we really want to start there and just show you guys that, you know, changing your mindset changes everything.
Exactly. So thank you for tuning in with us today.
Like and subscribe.
And we will see you next week.
Bye, guys.